Welcome to the Blue Box. This is brought to you by Vertical Football. This is a show where we talk all things Chelsea. Yeah, and we are back today on a Tuesday. Yeah, it's a beautiful Tuesday. This one we just want to peep into the transfer that has gone down at Chelsea Football Club, given that the transfer ended yesterday, and we just want to, who did we get? And let's see how what we got fits into what we are doing at the club. So the most important transfer, I believe, is in the person of Mamadou Sarr. Yeah, that's what we are going to be primarily discussing about. Well, let's just touch on the others a little bit, then we'll go right into Mamadou Sarr, who he is and how he fits into the Chelsea system. So some transfer went down, like Tyree George leaving the club. Yeah, I felt like it's something that just had to happen because he's not getting the time, obviously, given that we have players on that part. But for me, in all honesty, I would have wanted to keep Tyree George as a squad player. Yeah, in the sense that the two other guys are guys that, in the person of Garnacho and Jérémy Jacquet, they are good in their own ways. They are the profile that we need, but they are not delivering to the level that we are expecting them to deliver up to. But in the person of Tyree George, is that guy who, is not the best of the wingers, but whenever he comes into the play, is that guy who can just out of nothing get something. Yeah, is that guy who can do that for us, just get something out of nothing. But it's all mixed. It's more of, even if you want to keep him like that, does he want to stay? So I just feel like they came up to a best option for the two parties, both Chelsea and Tyree George. And I think Everton is a nice place for him to go to get development. And it's even on the not mandatory, not an obligation to buy. So we can see what it becomes, and they will know if we are going to have him back at the club or he moves forward from there. And the other person, in the person of Anselmino, coming back from Borussia Dortmund and coming back into the club and then moving to Strasbourg, I felt like, in all honesty, the way I saw the transfer went on, it's something that I see that Chelsea did not necessarily want to do it. Yeah, the way I interpret the whole thing, Chelsea did not necessarily want to do anything about the Anselmino coming back to the club. But given the fact that they are already seeing the moves that Dortmund is beginning to make, and this is just once bitten, twice shy, in the person of Chukwuemeka. When we sent Chukwuemeka there on loan to go and play, I think there have been some internal discussion. There have been some getting into his head, if that's the right word to use, in the sense that when he came back to Chelsea, he was just so adamant about Borussia Dortmund or nothing. I know the environment might be a nice place for him to be. Players bond with some certain environments, maybe in the way he was treated, the way the fans accepted him, the way the coach gave him assurance that he was going to play in their squad. But it limited our own options for us to explore. And I know it might be from a selfish point of view, in the sense that, now you have bought this guy for maybe 20 million. You want to sell him to other place. But if he's insisting that he's not going to the other place and just going here, you have to sell him for what these people are bringing. Nevertheless, because he has told you he's not going to go any other place aside this place. So I feel like that kind of relationship is not fair. You want to develop your player, you want to help him. You go there, go and help them build their own thing. At the same time, you develop yourself, but you don't get into players' head to the extent that when they are coming back, it's just you or nobody. I feel like that's not fair. And I think that's the same move that they saw with Anselmino, and they are like, no, this is not going to happen, because they started coming out in the press conference to speak about, they want this guy. They are going to try and do all things to keep this guy, and all of those kind of things is good. You might be good people, but don't get into his mind. It has been stated from the beginning that this guy is a part of Chelsea's project. Don't mess up his mind and change the whole thing and just allow us lose our player out of the fact that we did you a favor to send the player on loan to your place. Not necessarily a favor, because we are gaining also. He's developing, but he's also helping. He's also becoming an integral part of your team and helping you to get better. So I just feel like it was not fair, and I hope it does not deteriorate our relationship with Borussia Dortmund, because I think we are pretty good with each other. But I just hope this should not spoil the relationship that we have with them. And also that Fofana went to Strasbourg, and even Axel Disasi to West Ham. I feel like it was a whole lot of shipping out. Raheem Sterling, I feel like that's the one I'm most happy with. £300,000 a week is not something you want to still have in your club when they are not delivering for you, when they are not even playing at all. So I was so happy about the Raheem Sterling leaving the club. I feel like that's my win in the transfer. Now let's go into Mamadou Sarr. We acquired this guy from Strasbourg before, sent him back there on loan, but at this point in time we're bringing him back into the club. So now let's look at what's going on at Chelsea. What do we need in our defense, and how does Mamadou Sarr fit into what we need in our defense? So let's look at what we lack, most especially because you cannot be recruiting a person to come and fill the position that you already have. You look at what you don't have, then you find somebody to fill into that shoe. Now, what is it that we lack in our defense? I feel like the first thing, which is the most important thing, even the coach spoke about it, is temperament. And temperament in the sense that in the defensive part of our pitch, we are not that calm. We are not that calm. Majority of the guys that we have there, aside Levi Colwill, they are not this kind of guy who necessarily know how to read the tempo of the game and play according to dictate is the right word, dictate the tempo of the game. So the temperament of the guys in the defense is something that we don't have the quality that we are expecting. We don't have that. The second thing is the ball playing ability from the back. We have good players there, but we don't have that person who is good on the ball and whose passing ability is just out of this world. And the only person who is doing that is just that exceptional one in the person of Levi Colwill, and his injury has really kept a hole in that defense. So to the next thing is another one who can draw the press, who is comfortable on the ball, that guy who can put his leg on the ball and just stay there and allow the press come to them, and they find a way to manipulate the ball or make passes, short passes, or play back and invite them so much that you play through them. And we saw that a lot. That's why we miss Levi Colwill at all points. You see, every point I'm making, it just goes back to Levi Colwill in the sense that he's that guy who can do all of these things. I feel like he redefined that role for us. All of his quality is what we are using to define what we need in that position. And lastly, athleticism. I feel like we don't struggle with athleticism. We don't struggle with that. In the person of Chalobah, these guys are machines. They want to work their ass out. Fofana doing really, really good job. Achimpong, they are there. Ato, athleticism is not a problem at the club. So now let's go to Mamadou Sarr. Let's try and see what he brings into the club. I think the first thing for me is the temperament. He solves that part perfectly. He's calm. And that's one thing you want to. And why do we need that calm person? Now, in the sense that let's just go into real life analogy and just look at this thing. When there are two different kind of people. They are very fast people and they are very slow people. Like not slow, very calm people. In the sense that when you meet a calm person, when you lay 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things on a row, and a calm person is looking carefully through all of these things, but a fast person will just breeze through and give you a feedback on what is going on. But a calm person, when he's looking at 1, 2, 3, he's picking all the necessary details because he is slow in his thoughts. I don't want to use slow. I feel like he's calm. Let's just use calm. He's calm in his thoughts, in the sense that he will see through the whole thing, processing them at a very normal rate instead of one very high speed kind of rate. So that temperament is what we need in this back line, because you want to be able to, okay, now because you are calm, you can see the tempo of the game. You are not in the tempo, in the sense that when the tempo is high, because you are a very fast thinking person, you are also in the tempo. But a calm person is a person who, because he is naturally calm, he can see how this thing is fast, this thing is too slow, because he can see that, he knows that it is either fast or it is either slow. And because he has that, now he can control what is going on. This thing is too fast. Because I am calm, now I am going to stop the tempo of this game. I'm going to bring it down to the level that I know it pays us. And we have seen us suffer from this thing in the sense that because we have defenders who want to like naturally go and keep going, in the person of Chalobah, in the person of Fofana most especially, we tend to like just play back and forth kind of football. And we want to start having, we have that in the person of Enzo Fernandez. Enzo Fernandez is that guy who helps us to calm the ball down, take one extra touch, take two extra touches. He's the one who does that for us. But now we are trying to bring that profile into our center back, into somebody in the first line of play, in the defense line. Like, and you know, if you have that, you don't put too much of work on the defensive, on the people in the midfield, the two pivots, most especially. So you have somebody who can read the game from the back. Look at, oh, this is too fast. When the ball gets to him, instead of him going boom into the whole thing, it just calms the ball down. Take one extra touch, take another extra touch, and start passing the ball around. The tempo of the game would have gone down. Now, and another thing that he brings into the game is he draws the press forward, which is something that we miss in this Mamadou Sarr. In the way he plays, is that guy who, like Levi Colwill, wants to put his foot on the ball and wait for you people. And that even comes out of his temperament because he is calm. He's okay. Now, these people are trying not to come front foot. Now, I'm going to hold the ball here and wait. And you do not have a choice than to come and attack me. So I feel like that's one of the things that I bring into that. And we really miss that so much, in the sense that because we don't have a person who will do that for us, most of the time, we can't bait opponents into a press. Because, you know, when these guys get the ball in Tosin, in Chalobah, in Fofana, they want to keep it going. But if you have that guy who is like Levi Colwill, and which Mamadou Sarr also brings into the team, they stamp their foot on the ball and wait for you, start reading all of the information, and not necessarily when you come, they will play a forward pass. It might be a backward pass to the goalkeeper, and then all they just need for you is to come. And let's look at it tactically, in the sense that if you look at the way Chelsea is playing now, we tend to like have two phases of play: the defensive part, which is the build-up, and the attacking part. So you have five players there. You have the 3-2, which is the 3 defense line and 2 pivots, and then you have the other 5 up front. The 2, let's say, inside 10, the wide winger, or the 2 inside 10, a winger, or let's say, it can be the 2 wingers and 1 9. So you have 5 here, 5 here. So the way we want to play is, when somebody like Mamadou Sarr is holding the ball to his feet, we want it to be in a space where this guy stays in the attacking phase and this defensive guy are just remaining where they are. So now, because he's putting his foot on the ball, you are going to trigger the opponent to want to come and get the ball. Now, the middle phase, that means the dimension between this phase of our play, this defensive phase, which is the build-up phase, and this attacking phase, will get larger, so we can have big pockets, so that when line breaking pass come out, we can have a whole lot of space to exploit. So like, that's the basic idea. That's one of the advantages, that when you have somebody who is calm, who can bet a press, those are one of the advantages that you will get. And in the person of Mamadou Sarr, he gives us that. And also his athleticism, is something that we need on the left center back position, in our defense. Now, he's primarily supposed to be playing as a right center back, but in a 4 defense, he's going to play on the left center back position. Let's say in let me say, substitution in a match where there is no Fofana, is going to play in that space. And what we do is, because he's on the left center back in a 4, so this guy will move, or this guy can stay, and then he talks into becoming a central center back, because that's the profile that you need in a central center back. Somebody who is calm on the ball, somebody who understands the tempo, and somebody who has the athleticism to do the job in that central center back. So he's going to stay there in a back 3. He's going to be a central back. And because of his height, because of his 1v1 ability, because of his athleticism. He is that guy who can cover ground. So sometimes he can be the jumper. Even if when we are not in a 3 at the back, when we are in a 4 at the back, he can be the jumper where the 3 other guys stays and he just jumps to maybe the 10 is getting the ball. He jumps to make sure he's pushing the guys, make sure they are turning their back to the goal and just returning the ball to their own half. So he brings a whole lot of different dynamics into the game. So now let's look at the defects of this guy. Let's look at the things that when he comes into the club, when he start playing, there are things that we believe he can improve on or he should improve on. And I think the first thing is his ball playing ability. Is not the best in that. In those line breaking passes, in those, he's good in his short passes, but the requirements of a central center back, in the sense that you want somebody when we are splitting those phases of pitch, the build-up phase and the attacking phase, and you're trying to beat the opponent. Sometimes they might come in a way there, they will block your 2 pivots. If you are not good in playing the ball, not necessarily holding the ball in a calm way, but playing line breaking passes, you will always resort to going back, which will in turn invite everybody to come and make the whole thing choke again. So I feel like he should improve on his ball playing ability, in the sense that he needs to be able to play those penetrating passes, have the confidence to keep trying it till you sharpen that skill, break those line passes, and then we can isolate them up front. So and another thing is something that I've seen in Badiashile, which I feel like I'm a little bit skeptical about him also, that he does it a lot. He's that kind of guy who likes the defense, or likes to just rest on the defense, on the striker who is playing against, in the sense that when somebody like Fofana marks you, you get something like he keeps pushing you till you have no choice to like go back into your own play. But with Mamadou Sarr, when the ball comes and the opponent is getting the ball, is that guy who just want to make sure body is touching body, but you are not turning to go. Me, I don't necessarily like those kind of defender. We see that a lot in Badiashile. He's not trying to like get the ball. He's just stopping you from not moving anywhere. What if there is link up? So I feel like that one also is something that he should do better. And also his area ability. As much as he's a tall guy, he's so funny how he's not the best aerially. Yeah, so it's something that we will have to like find a balance into. Maybe when we want to have something like corners, when we want to have all those long throws, because he is tall, I think he should be one of those guys who stays in the front foot, like on the line of the boxes, to like make those first contacts, instead of him being in the crowd, in that box, inside of the boxes. When crosses are coming, he's trying to contest with somebody to get the ball out. I feel like he will struggle in that part. So put him in a space where he's going to get the first ball. So in those kind of spaces, it's just going to be me versus you, not me in the crowd. So I feel like those are things that he can improve on. And what else have we seen? I feel like that's just it for me. That's it for me. I feel. Now let's talk about. I feel like I want to talk about my own personal view about this thing. In my own book, I would have kept Semino over Mamadou Sarr. Yeah, in my own book, I would have kept Semino over Mamadou Sarr. And why is that? In the sense that Anselmino will give you the ball playing ability. He's good on his feet. He's that guy who can play those line breaking passes. And also the left center back, I would have taken a natural person who can play as a left center back over a right center back that you want to be putting in the left center back position. Yeah, and there are a whole lot of different factors that come into play in that. But for me, I would have taken Anselmino over Mamadou Sarr because of those two things. You want a natural in that space so that you don't start going through adaptation time. And also you need somebody that from that left center back, when it talks in to become a central center back, is somebody who can still add the ball playing ability to it. And Anselmino is also calm. Is somebody who can read the tempo of the game, who can hold the ball to his foot and put his foot on the ball and allow you guys to come, bait you into the press. So for me personally, I would have wanted Anselmino to stay at the club and just allow Mamadou Sarr finish his time at Strasbourg. And maybe if he gets better in those things, you want to bring him back into the club. Yeah. So guys, these are my thoughts on the transfer. overall, was he a good transfer? Yeah, for me, it was a good transfer. At least if we did not get the best of the best, we still brought in somebody who can do the job, who can fill in those voids of what we are lacking in the club. So guys, this is brought to you by Vertical Football. This is the Blue Box. Please like, share, and subscribe to this channel if you have not done that. Till we see you some other time. Namaste.